Solutions, 2nd edition intermediate, by Tim Fowler and Paul A. Davis. Published and copyright Oxford University Press 2012. cd1.
Unit 1, Lesson 1A, Exercises 3 and 4.
First out of the limo is one of Hollywood's hottest new stars. She's young, but she looks all grown up here. She's wearing a beautiful lacy white dress from Armani. It's long-sleeved, plain and very elegant. Her long, dark, shiny hair hangs over her shoulders. She has a small, sparkly clutch bag and matching high-heeled shoes from Jimmy Choo. Very stylish. Well, he may be famous, but he's as scruffy as ever. Today he's wearing a grey cotton T-shirt. Over the top he's wearing a brown checked baggy jacket with 2 scarves. One is really long, woolly and grey, and the other is short, green and black, and fluffy. He's wearing very casual, baggy dark blue jeans and shiny black leather boots. On his head is an awful beige beanie. Oh dear. Next to arrive is our favourite singer. He's looking smarter than usual in a smooth red leather jacket which looks like Dolce & Gabbana. With that he's wearing tight jeans and a black and white stripy shirt, also Dolce & Gabbana, I think. He's got a long brown furry scarf round his neck. Not real fur, I hope. Altogether a very cool outfit. Well, this lady certainly knows how to attract our attention. You can't miss her in this outfit. Look at her shiny gold trouser suit with black cuffs. And she's wearing stylish black high-heeled shoes from Jimmy Choo. I'm not sure how flattering this outfit is, but she's slim enough and beautiful enough to wear anything she wants.
Lesson 1B, Exercise 2.
Hey, Zoe. You're always using the computer when I need it. It's so annoying.
I'm chatting with Ella.
Hi, Max. What are you up to?
Oh, hi, Ella. I'm doing my science homework, but I need to look something up on the internet.
Ask Ella. She always comes top of the class in science.
OK, what about this? At what temperature does oxygen change from a gas to a liquid?
Minus 183 degrees C.
Wow. Thanks, Ella.
Hey, Ella, do you fancy seeing Inception at the cinema tonight?
OK. What time does it start?
7. I'm meeting Joe at 6:45 outside the cinema.
Cool. I love science fiction films. Can I come?
No, you can't.
Lesson 1B, Exercise 5.
Who are you phoning?
Joe, the film starts in 5 minutes. She never arrives on time. Hi, Joe. Are you coming to see the film? OK. She's just getting off the bus. She'll be here in a minute.
Great. What are you doing after the film?
We're going for a pizza. Do you want to join us?
Yes, I love pizza. But the last bus home leaves at 10:30. I mustn't miss it.
Hi, Zoe. Hi, Ella.
What are you doing here, Max?
I'm going to see the film. I'm waiting for Sam. Shall we all sit together?
No way.
Lesson 1C, Exercise 2. Looking out for you.
Today, there are more than 4 million CCTV cameras in Britain. That's 1 camera for every 15 people. The cameras are there to film dangerous or illegal behaviour. But they don't just watch criminals, they watch almost all of us almost all of the time. Every time we use a cash point machine, travel on public transport, or go into a shop, a camera records our actions. Shops say that this technology helps to catch shoplifters, but only by treating everybody as a potential criminal. Cameras are not the only way of monitoring our actions. Every time you use your mobile phone, the phone company knows the number of the phone you are calling and how long the call lasts. It is even possible to work out your location. The police often use this information when they're investigating serious crimes. And what about satellites? Are they watching us from space? How much can they see? Anybody with a computer can download Google Earth and get satellite photos of the entire world. Perhaps governments are using even more powerful satellites to watch their citizens. Even when you are at home, you are not necessarily safe from surveillance. When you use your computer to visit websites, you are probably sending and receiving cookies without realizing it. Cookies transfer information from your computer to the website and, in theory, could record which websites you visit. Some cookies, called zombie cookies, are very difficult to remove from your computer. Modern technology is making it easier and easier to stay in contact, but it is also making it nearly impossible for us to hide.
Lesson 1C, Exercises 4 and 5.
I came back from our summer holiday, and do you know the first thing I noticed as we were leaving the airport? The number of CCTV cameras on the streets. They're everywhere.
What's wrong with that?
It means that somebody is watching you all the time. I don't like that.
But the cameras are there to make criminals think twice before they do something wrong. Surveillance deters people from committing crime.
I'm not sure about that. But even if it's true, personal privacy is more important than catching criminals.
Do you think so? I feel safer because of the cameras.
Really?
Well, in my opinion, public safety is more important than personal privacy. If the cameras can help prevent crime, stop terrorists from leaving bombs in our cities, that's a good thing. And I don't mind if the police are watching me at the same time.
But surveillance makes everybody feel guilty. If you see a camera pointing at you every time you look up in the street, you feel like you've done something wrong.
Do you? Maybe you've just got a guilty conscience, Martin. Personally, I don't think about it. Surely if you don't do anything wrong, then you have nothing to fear from surveillance.
It's not as simple as that. It's the first step towards a police state.
Oh, don't be silly. We don't live in a police state.
How do you know what the authorities do with the pictures they record? The police might misuse the information.
But how? They're not going to come knocking on your door in the middle of the night accusing you of a crime you didn't commit.
I don't know. It's possible. Anyway, we rely too much on technology to solve social problems. There should be more police on the streets and more help for people who might turn to crime.
I agree with you there. But CCTV cameras help too. More surveillance means the police can catch more criminals.
Lesson 1D, Exercises 3 and 4.
I don't expect to lead a perfectly normal life. I mean, you can't when your face is so well known. Some models hardly go out and they avoid going to clubs and restaurants. They never agree to pose for photos for the paparazzi. But that's just silly, because the photographers won't give up. They can make life very difficult for you. I go out quite a lot, but I manage to keep my private life separate from my public life. I can't imagine not having any privacy at all. That would be awful. A friend of mine, he's a model too, he went on holiday to Mallorca and some photographers followed him out there. And he couldn't face leaving the villa because he knew that they were waiting for him in the street outside. So he ended up staying in the villa for most of the holiday. Luckily, it had a pool.
Lesson 1E, Exercise 2.
Imagine being totally colourblind, living in a world of greys, being unable to see the difference between red and blue or yellow and pale green. That's what life is like for Neil Harbison. He was born with an irreversible condition called achromatopsia, or total colour blindness. That would make life difficult for anyone, but Neil is an artist, and the incredible thing is, he paints in colour. When Neil was an art student, he only painted in black, white and grey, because that is all he saw. He was very dissatisfied with his paintings. But one day, a young scientist called Adam Montaden visited the college to give a lecture. The two met, and when Neil explained his problem, Adam decided to try to find a way to allow Neil to see colours using sound. Neil thought it was an impossible task, but Adam made a special device that let him hear 6 colours. This is how it worked. Light travels in waves, and different colours of light have different wavelengths. Red light has a long wavelength, and violet light has a short wavelength. Adam used this fact to create a camera that measures the wavelength of the light that enters it, and then makes a sound that corresponds to the colour of the light. So, if the camera sees red, it makes a low sound. If it sees violet, it makes a high sound. Adam has now developed a much more sophisticated device called the eyeborg that allows Neil to see 360 different colours. Neil wears a camera on his head, which is attached to a laptop computer in a backpack. The computer analyses the colour and sends a sound to Neil's wireless headset. It was a bit uncomfortable at first, but Neil soon got used to it. The eyeborg has made a huge difference to Neil's art. He now uses a wide range of colours. If he wants to paint something, he points his camera at it and memorises the sound. Then he starts mixing colours, pointing his camera at the paint, and stops mixing when he hears the same sound again. Neil has had to memorise a lot of sounds, but he played the piano as a child, and this has helped him a great deal. "I've got used to all the sounds," he says. "It's noisy, but probably not much noisier than a busy city street." However, it has created some unusual problems. People sometimes think that he is videoing them, and they don't like that. Security guards occasionally ask him to leave shops. But Neil is now inseparable from his eyeborg and wears it all the time.
Lesson 1F, exercises 2 and 5.
Describe the picture.
The photo shows a street at night. There's a sign in the background. It looks like it says theatre. There are a number of people in the street. The woman in the sunglasses looks like a pop singer or film star. The man in the grey suit next to the woman is a TV reporter, I think. He's holding a microphone and interviewing her. He looks very excited. They are walking away from the theatre. Perhaps she is the star of a show, but I'm not sure. The people to the right of the man are photographers. They look like paparazzi, and they're taking photos of the woman. In the top right-hand corner of the photo, I can see a TV camera too. On the left, we can see just the hands of some people. One of them is holding a notebook, and the woman with long blonde hair is writing something in the notebook with a blue pen. It looks as though she's signing her autograph. So I guess the people on the left are fans of the woman.
Lesson 1F, exercise 7.
Thank you. I will now ask you 3 questions. How do you think the woman is feeling, and why?
Let me see. I think she is feeling happy. She certainly looks happy. She's smiling and laughing. She's probably a famous actress, and she's used to paparazzi. It looks as though she is enjoying all the attention.
Do you think it's okay for paparazzi to behave like this?
It's difficult to say, really. Some celebrities like having their photos in the papers, but others don't. If a celebrity doesn't want their photo in the papers, I suppose the photographers shouldn't take photos.
Tell me about the last time you were photographed.
Let me think about that for a moment. Oh, yes, it was my birthday last month, and I had a party. I invited lots of friends, and we went ice skating. A friend took lots of photos of me while I was skating. The photos were quite funny because I kept falling over.
Get ready for your exam 1. Listening. Exercise 2. The true beauty of a person comes from inside. But if you are unhappy with your appearance, it is difficult to appreciate that. Your appearance is the first thing that other people notice. If you are not happy with how you look, it affects the way you behave, and that affects how other people treat you. If this is the case, it's a good idea to take a look at yourself. First of all, write a list of things about yourself that you can't change. For example, your height, the colour of your eyes, the size of your feet. Learn to love these things. Accept what you can't change. Everybody has things that they don't like about themselves. When you accept who you are, it shows on the outside. Confidence is attractive. Turn your negatives into positives. If you have curly hair, don't try and straighten it. Learn how to make your curls wonderful. Go to a good hairdresser and get an updated hairstyle. If you think you are too tall, be proud of your height. Remember that short people would love to have a few extra centimetres. Walk tall. Then turn your attention to your wardrobe. Clothes that suit you and that you feel comfortable in make you look and feel better. Take a good look at your clothes and get rid of anything that doesn't make you look good. If you need more help, go to some shops for some free advice. Shop assistants are often good at helping you to find what suits you. Try new styles and colours, and make sure you have a great, well-fitting pair of jeans. Finally, get enough exercise. Try a new sport. Go to a gym and work out. I'm not saying that you should become a bodybuilder, but a little exercise will make you feel better and make you look better too.
Unit 2, Lesson 2A, Exercise 2. 1.
What? What are you doing? Get away from me! You're not. This isn't possible. Get away from me!
2.
This bed is really, uncomfortable. What's the time? 2 in the morning? And I have to get up early.
3.
Yes, I know. Who'd have thought it? She's already got the best-looking boyfriend in town and the richest parents, and now she's got a place at the best university. It isn't fair, is it? Everything in her life is always so perfect. She's so lucky.
4.
Oh, hi. Yes, I was just wondering if you... How are you? OK? Good. Yes, I was wondering if you were doing anything tonight. You're probably busy. Yes, I expect so. Don't worry if you are. Just... forget it. I'll call you soon. Oh, you aren't busy? Well, would you like to,
5.
My phone? Where is it? I think I left it... No, hang on. Oh, it's okay. Phew, I've got it. It's here at the bottom of my bag. Well, that's lucky. I don't know what I'd do without my phone.
6.
I don't believe it. 6-1 we lost. And we were 1-0 up at half-time. What a disaster. And it was the last match of the season too. We needed to win it, but we lost.
7.
That's strange. I'm sure Jack said the party was tomorrow. But I just got a text from him saying, "Where were you?" It doesn't make sense. And when I phoned him, he didn't answer. Oh, very weird. I wonder what's going on.
8.
Oh no! I didn't realise it was meant to be a surprise. I'm so sorry. I told Anna all about it. Oh, I've spoiled everything. I feel really bad about it.
Lesson 2A. Exercise 4. 1. Millie.
When I was 5 or 6, my dad was in a play. He was really into drama and acting at that time. Anyway, Mum took me and my brother to see this play. I don't think it was really suitable for children. We only went because my dad was in it. He played this horrible character, really mean and scary. I was terrified. And after the play, when we all went home, I was really afraid of my dad. It only lasted for a few days, but I remember it very clearly.
2. Sam.
We had a dog called Wolfie when I was a young boy. Wolfie never did what he was told. Anyway, one day I asked my mum if I could take Wolfie for a walk on my own. I suppose I was 7 or 8 at the time. She told me not to take him too far from the house. So, anyway, I took Wolfie to the park opposite our house, and he ran off. I called and called, but he didn't come back. I didn't know what to do. Eventually, I walked home, and there he was, sitting by the front door. I was so pleased to see him. I think I cried.
3. Alex.
When I was 6, my older sister took part in an ice skating competition. It was in London, and the whole family went along to watch her. It was quite a big event, the National Junior Championship, or something like that. We were quite surprised when she got through to the final part of the competition. When she came onto the ice again, we all cheered and clapped. And believe it or not, she won. She won the whole competition. I couldn't believe that my own sister was the champion. It made me feel so good. I told everybody at school about it.
4. Sophie.
When I was about 8, I was a member of a tennis club. I went every Saturday morning and played for 2 hours. I wasn't very good, and I didn't enjoy it. But I went every week. For some reason, I didn't tell my mum and dad that I didn't like tennis club. I thought they would be angry if I admitted it. So I said nothing. Then, one day in the car on the way there, I said to my dad, "I really don't want to go. I don't like tennis." He wasn't angry at all. "Of course you don't have to go," he said. "We only took you there every week because we thought you enjoyed it."
5. Tom.
When I was a kid, my parents didn't have a lot of money. I mean, we weren't really poor. We had enough for clothes and food and stuff like that. But a lot of my school friends came from richer families. There was one boy, my best friend for years, his name was Adam, who always got everything he wanted. He seemed to get a new bike every year. I had the same bike for about 5 years, and it wasn't new when I got it. I really wanted to be Adam, or at least I wanted to have his parents.
Lesson 2B. Exercise 5.
When I was about 12, I went to the Notting Hill Carnival in London with my dad. We travelled there by underground. At about midday, we got off the train, walked up the steps and came out of the station. I was really shocked. I'd never seen so many people in one place. A band was playing reggae music and people were dancing in the street. As I was walking along the street with my dad, I stopped to watch the band for a few minutes. But when I turned around, my dad had gone. I was really scared. Fortunately, my dad had written his mobile number on a piece of paper. I walked into a shop and asked the shop assistant to phone the number. When my dad answered and heard my voice, he was really shocked. He hadn't noticed that I wasn't with him.
Lesson 2C. Exercise 3.
Poppy Day is the day when people in Britain and other countries commemorate the soldiers who died for their country in 2 world wars and later conflicts. It's on the 11th of November every year, because World War I officially ended on the 11th of November 1918. Every year at exactly 11 o'clock in the morning, there is a 2-minute silence. This tradition began in 1919, 1 year after the end of World War I, when there was a 2-minute silence in London. It was a chance for everybody to stop what they were doing and remember the people who had died.
Lesson 2C. Exercise 5.
Poppy Day is the day when people in Britain and other countries commemorate the soldiers who died for their country in 2 world wars and later conflicts. It's on the 11th of November every year, because World War I officially ended on the 11th of November 1918. Every year at exactly 11 o'clock in the morning, there is a 2-minute silence. This tradition began in 1919, 1 year after the end of World War I, when there was a 2-minute silence in London. It was a chance for everybody to stop what they were doing and remember the people who had died. This is how one British newspaper described the event.
At exactly 11 o'clock, all the cars, trams and other vehicles stopped. Everyone stood very still. The silence became deeper. It spread over the whole city. It was a silence which was almost pain. It was the spirit of memory.
John McCrae was a Canadian doctor who fought as an officer in World War I. He saw terrible things during that time. There were sometimes hundreds of casualties in one day. Thousands and thousands of young soldiers fought and died in the muddy, wet fields of Flanders, a part of Belgium. In those same muddy fields, red flowers grew, poppies. McCrae imagined that the poppies were growing there to mark the places where young men had died. He found the sight of the poppies very moving and wrote a poem about them. In the poem, we hear the dead soldiers speak. It begins with this line: "In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row." John McCrae died in battle in 1918. An American woman called Moira Michael read his poem and bought some poppies. She wore one of them and sold the others. She gave the money to ex-soldiers in the United States. Other people copied the idea. They made poppies out of paper and sold them to raise money for ex-soldiers and the families of soldiers who had died. Selling poppies became a tradition which spread from country to country. Today, poppies are sold in many countries around the world. When people buy and wear poppies, they are remembering all the soldiers who fought and died in World War I between 1914 and 1918, and in later wars. And although World War I happened about 100 years ago, people do still remember. In the UK alone, about 40 million poppies are sold each year.
Lesson 2D. Exercise 1.
Hi, Daisy. What have you got there? It's a box that my dad found in the attic. It's full of my old things.
Cool. Let me see.
This is my school book from primary school. You used to have really neat handwriting.
And look, here's a photo of me when I was 5.
Did you used to wear dresses?
Yes, all the time.
How sweet. You never wear dresses now. And look at your hair. It's blonde.
I know. I didn't used to have red hair.
You used to be pretty.
What do you mean, I used to be pretty?
Lesson 2D. Exercise 4.
Did you used to wear dresses?
I didn't used to have red hair.
You used to be pretty.
Lesson 2E. Exercise 1.
Identity crisis. In the Bourne trilogy, Jason Bourne has acute amnesia. He spends 3 films trying to recall his own past. I don't know who I am, he says. I don't know where I'm going, none of it. And in a 1996 film called Memento, the main character, Leonard Shelby, tries to solve a murder even though he has no short-term memory, which means he cannot remember what has just happened or store any new memories. These 2 kinds of memory loss provide exciting plots for thrillers and mystery stories. But in real life, they are not so entertaining.
Emily's story. One day in September 2001, a 33-year-old woman from Texas, USA, got into her car and began to drive to work. She can't remember exactly what happened next or why, but 10 hours later, she was still driving. She had driven all the way from Texas to Santa Fe, about 1,000 kilometers. She didn't know anyone in Santa Fe, so she checked into a motel. And then the situation got worse. When I woke up the next morning, I sat up and I didn't recognize the room, she said. I didn't recognize the bag that was sitting on the chair or the clothes that were lying over the chair. I didn't recognize myself in the mirror. I didn't know my name. When the police found Emily and took her back to her family, she didn't recognize her own children. Emily's doctors concluded that she had a condition called dissociative fugue. Patients wake up one day lost. They have no problem remembering new information, but they've lost most of their past. There is no physical damage to the brain. For this reason, many doctors doubt these patient stories. Perhaps they are using memory loss as an excuse for starting their life again. In most cases, including Emily's, they gradually make a recovery.
Henry's story.
Henry, known for years as H.M., is the most famous amnesiac in medical history. His brain was damaged during surgery, and as a result he suffered from a condition called anterograde amnesia. Although he could recall his childhood clearly, new experiences disappeared from his mind after a few minutes. He lived the rest of his life in the present, unable to remember what had happened 5 minutes earlier. It's like waking from a dream, he said. Although sufferers from anterograde amnesia cannot memorize new information, they can learn new skills. For example, patients who have guitar lessons gradually get better and better at the guitar, but every time they play, they believe that they're picking up a guitar for the first time. Henry lived with his condition for about 50 years. His memory did not improve in that time. Suzanne Corkin, a neuroscientist, studied Henry's condition for more than 40 years and visited him regularly. But each time she arrived, he introduced himself as if they were meeting for the first time. One day, Dr. Corkin took Henry to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the USA for tests. As they were walking along a corridor, she asked him if he remembered where they were. "Of course," he replied. "We're at MIT." Dr. Corkin was shocked. Had his memory suddenly improved? "How do you know that?" she asked him. Henry laughed and pointed to a student who was wearing an MIT sweatshirt. Dr. Corkin realized that Henry's memory hadn't come back, but at least he had reminded her of his sense of humor.
Lesson 2F. Exercises 2 and 3.
Hello, Hayley. Did you hear what happened to my friend Alicia last weekend?
No, I didn't. Tell me.
Oh, OK. Well, it was her birthday on Saturday, her 18th birthday. But she hadn't arranged anything special, no party or anything. I'm not sure why. Maybe she just didn't feel like it, or her parents said no. Or perhaps she had too much schoolwork to do and didn't want to organise anything. Anyway, the day before her birthday, on Friday, she changed her mind. She decided that she did want a party after all. But by now it was too late to send invitations, even by email or text.
Oh, really? So, what did she do?
Well, that evening, she decided to put a message about the party on her Facebook page. It was an invitation saying all her friends could come if they wanted to. Unfortunately, her Facebook page wasn't private. Anybody could read it. And she mentioned her address in the invitation. Come to 46 Blackwall Street at 8 o'clock, it said, or whatever.
Oh, that was a mistake.
I know. So the next day, about 200 people turned up at her house for the party, and about 180 of those were complete strangers.
Oh.
She locked the door and called the police. Eventually, everyone went home.
What a terrible experience.
I know. When it was all over, her parents insisted that she remove all of her details from Facebook. She can still use the computer, but she's banned from using social networking sites. And I don't think she'll have a birthday party next year.
Lesson 2F. Exercise 4.
That was lucky.
That was unlucky.
That was a mistake.
What a laugh.
What a nightmare.
What a terrible experience.
What a surprise.
How exciting.
How funny.
How frightening.
Lesson 2F. Exercises 5 and 6.
Oh, hi, Kevin.
Hi, Hannah. Guess what happened to Edward the other day?
I've no idea. Well, go on.
Well, it was Saturday evening. He went out with some friends for a meal at an Italian restaurant. They were all really happy because they just finished all their exams. Anyway, they had a great time at the meal and stayed out really late. When Edward got home, he realised that his mum and dad were already in bed asleep. It was really annoying for Edward because he didn't have his door keys, so he couldn't get in, and he didn't want to wake his parents up.
What a nightmare! So what did he do?
Well, he could see that his bedroom window was open, so he started to climb up the side of the house. It was tiring, but he made it.
That was lucky. So what happened next?
Well, while he was climbing, the neighbour saw him and thought he was a burglar. She called the police. 10 minutes later, 3 police cars arrived outside their house. Edward's parents woke up, really frightened because of all the noise. Edward's dad went to open the door. The police came in and searched the house. No burglar, of course, just Edward in his bed. The police were really confused.
How funny! And then what happened?
Well, in the end, the police left. The next day, Edward told his mum and dad the truth. They weren't angry at all, so Edward was really relieved about that. They didn't even ban him from staying out late with his friends. His dad just hid a door key in the garden and said to Edward, "Next time, use the key."
Skills Roundup 1 to 2. Exercises 5 and 6.
Hi, I'm Zara. Are you Anna?
Yes, I am. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Come in.
Thanks.
You're from Poland, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Wow, this is a nice flat.
Thanks, but I don't own the flat. I just rent it.
And you're living on your own?
Yes, that's right. Up until now, anyway. But it's a 2-bedroom flat, so there's space for another person. And I just can't afford the rent. I don't earn a lot of money.
What do you do?
I'm a dancer.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
So, when are you moving to Liverpool?
Oh, I already live here. I've got a room in a shared house.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I'm a student at the university. I came here for the start of term in October.
So, why do you want to move house?
Well, it's a long story. I had a few problems with my housemates.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. What happened?
Well, I'm not sure, but I think somebody is stealing things. I lost a CD, a magazine, a pair of socks.
Oh, no! That's horrible. It happened to me once, in a shared house. Do you know who took them? Was it definitely one of your housemates?
I don't know. I'm not even sure that they were stolen. Maybe I lost them. But I think somebody took them.
So, you don't really want to live there now?
No, I don't. And 6 people in one house is too many.
Yes, I'm sure. So, what kind of person are you?
Well, I suppose I'm quiet, but friendly. I'm easygoing.
Good. Are you a tidy person?
Yes, I think so. Quite tidy, anyway.
That's important. I like to keep the flat clean and tidy.
I'll do my best. I like tidy places too.
Great. Well, when can you move in? Oh, did I tell you how much the rent is?
No, you didn't.
It's £400 a month each.
Oh, that's a lot. I'm only paying £150 at the moment.
I know. It isn't cheap. Actually, it's £900 a month for the flat, but I'll pay £500 because my room is bigger.
Well, I really want to move in. I think it'll be a great place to live.
The room is available now, and I'm sure we'll get on fine. Move in as soon as you want.
Great. Thanks. What about from the 1st of next month?
Perfect. Let's speak again before then. You'll need to sign some forms, of course. I can email them to you. And I promise I won't steal your things.
Unit 3, Lesson 3A. Exercise 3.
We'll be back after this short commercial break.
1.
The North Sands Hotel is a luxury 24-bedroom hotel overlooking the breathtakingly beautiful Kingsbury Estuary. We're looking for an energetic chef to join the team in our busy 4-star restaurant. The 35-hour week is Tuesday to Friday mornings or Wednesday to Saturday evenings on alternate weeks, and the salary is £25,000 per year. Experience of working in a restaurant or hotel kitchen is essential. To request an application form, ring Sam Westways on 01392 562 265. The closing date for applications is the 30th of November.
2.
At Burton's Restaurant, we believe that the customer is king. We pride ourselves on the standard of our food and service. We have recently opened a new restaurant in Exeter, and we are looking for a waiter or waitress to join our hard-working, friendly team. The successful applicant will work well under pressure, while maintaining excellent customer service. Previous experience is essential, and references will be required. You will work full-time and earn £7.50 an hour, plus tips. This can be as much as £25 at busy times. ring Harry Burton on 01392 516 233.
3.
Have you worked in the hotel industry? Do you want to take the next step in your career? Then you may be the person we are looking for. We are currently seeking a reliable, confident and flexible receptionist to work on the front desk of our prestigious 5-star hotel in the centre of Exeter. Your job will involve dealing with the public, and you will often be the first point of contact for our guests. Working alongside our experienced reception manager, you will learn how to operate the switchboard and online booking system. You will work weekends, but you will get Tuesdays and Wednesdays off in lieu. We are offering a competitive package, £12,000 a year, with 15 days holiday. Ring Maya Evans on 01392 545 454.
4.
Just left school? Want to earn some money in the summer holiday before you start college? Looking for your first job? We require 2 fit and healthy people to work as porters at our seaside hotel. The hotel has recently been refurbished to a high standard but does not have a lift. Working closely with the receptionist, you will assist our guests on arrival and departure, carrying luggage to their rooms if required. You will earn £5.50 an hour and work Monday to Friday from 2 till 9. Please ring Amanda on 01392 567 909 or drop by at the Queen's Hotel near Exmouth Marina.
Lesson 3C. Exercises 1 and 2. 1.
I left school at 16 and started working on a market stall. Now I've just opened my first shop. Some of my friends who went on to university can't find work or are in boring, low-paid jobs. They had a good time at college for a few years, but I really don't know why they bothered to stay in education. Working for yourself is the best education there is. Much more useful than a degree.
2.
I went straight into work after leaving school at the age of 18. I got a job in local government, but I think it was a mistake as there weren't any chances for promotion. I think graduates get more interesting jobs, so I decided to go to university to further my career. Studying for a degree was one of the best experiences of my life. I loved my subject, and now I'm looking for a new job, better paid and more interesting than my last one.
3.
I always wanted to be a pharmacist, so I did a degree in pharmacy, followed by 2 years training. I must say the course was really hard work, and I didn't enjoy it much at the time. But I don't regret it because without it I couldn't have got the job I have now. The other thing is that a university education teaches you a lot about yourself. I think I'm a more confident person because I did a degree.
4.
I finished my philosophy degree a few months ago, but I haven't been able to find a job. The course was really hard work, but reasonably interesting. However, I don't think it was a good idea to choose philosophy, as many employers think it's irrelevant. If I could go to university again, I'd study something more useful, like business studies. I think it's really important to think how the particular course you plan to do is going to help you get a job.
5.
I got quite a shock when I got my first job after graduating from university. My boss had been in the same class as me at school. She went straight into work at 18, and now she's earning more than me. Actually, she wants to go to university now, and I think that's probably a much better way to do it. I think you'll get more from university if you spend some time working first.
Lesson 3C. Exercise 4.
University in the UK. Fact file. In the UK, approximately 40% of school leavers go on to study at university. compared with 8% in the early 1980s. 15% of all university students are from outside the UK. The most popular subjects with foreign students are business studies and engineering. Most undergraduate courses take 3 years of full-time study to complete. University education is subsidised by the government. British and EU students pay towards their tuition fees and have to pay their own living expenses. They can usually take out a government loan for this, which they pay back when they reach a certain level of income. Vocational courses are becoming more popular. 90% of people who take degrees in the UK go on to get a job or do further study. People with degrees are likely to earn, on average, £100,000 more during their working lives than non-graduates.
Lesson 3E. Exercise 3.
Woman's work. Toddler World Nursery was delighted to employ a trainee, 22-year-old Jonathan Brown, as their first male nursery school teacher. He was also the only man who applied for the job, but, insists Marjorie Bowman, head teacher of Toddler World, by far the best applicant. Both boys and girls will benefit from the experience of having a male role model in the nursery, says mother of two, Marjorie. Jonathan has always been interested in childcare. His own mother is a childminder and his father is a teacher. I've always helped Mum with looking after all the children, he says. I'm used to changing nappies, feeding babies, reading stories and playing with Lego. But Jonathan is a rare male in a female world. Only 2% of nursery teachers are men, and this hasn't changed for 10 years. Roger Olson of the National Nursery Trust said, "Men are often viewed with anxiety and suspicion in a children's environment, or they are expected to do things the way women would do them. But men bring different things into childcare and this has to be recognised." Jonathan agrees. He is a qualified under-7s football coach and plans to introduce football lessons to the nursery for boys and girls. What do Jonathan's friends think of his choice of career? Actually, most of them are pretty cool about it now, he says, though they do make jokes about nappies, and I've found that girls are actually quite impressed, so that's good.
A man's world? 10 years ago, there were very few female air traffic controllers. It was seen as a man's world. But now, 25% of air traffic controllers in the UK are women, and the number is increasing. Caroline Beck is one of them. She says, "I've always been interested in planes because of my dad. He knew a lot about them. For a while, we lived near Heathrow Airport, and we used to watch all the planes taking off and landing." She was determined to be an air traffic controller. The 12 months of training, the exams and the air crash simulation exercises were tough, says Caroline, but I was well prepared for my career. What I wasn't prepared for was the reaction of some of the men, especially the older ones. The new women controllers were viewed with suspicion, and they had to work twice as hard to be accepted by their male colleagues. Nowadays, things are better, but women are still in a minority. I'm the only woman in my team, but I get on well with my colleagues. There are still plenty of jokes about women. The men say that we can't read maps, which isn't true, but I generally don't mind. My job is highly responsible and stressful, but I know I'm good at it.
Lesson 3F. Exercise 1.
How did you find out about the job?
I saw it advertised on a recruitment agency website.
You've worked in catering before, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I used to help out at my uncle's restaurant.
What did you do there?
First of all, just washing up in the kitchen. But then I took orders and served food and drinks. Occasionally I answered the phone and took reservations.
Did you enjoy the work?
Yes, I did. Though it was very tiring on busy nights.
And you worked there for about a year, didn't you?
Yes, about a year. Part-time.
I see. And why do you think you're the right person for this job?
Because I'm hard-working and reliable, and I enjoy dealing with the public. I'm also good at working in a team.
Well, thanks for coming in, Emily. We'll be in touch before the end of the week.
Grammar Builder 3. Part 3. Exercise 1. 1.
You're hard-working and enthusiastic, aren't you?
2.
He enjoyed the work, didn't he?
3.
You've worked in a hotel before, haven't you?
4.
The job involves dealing with customers, doesn't it?
5.
You wouldn't be able to start until May, would you?
6.
Bar staff must do shift work, mustn't they?
7.
You won't tell anyone, will you?
8.
You can drive, can't you?
Lesson 3F. Exercises 5 and 6.
Gary Smith?
That's right.
Good morning. My name's Julia Rayworth.
Good morning. Pleased to meet you.
And you? Come in. Take a seat.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
You live locally, don't you?
Yes, I do. I live in the village near the farm.
Right. That's great. Why do you want this job?
Well, I need work during the summer to pay for my university fees.
I see. Have you got any experience of this type of work?
Well, not exactly, but I'm used to working outdoors. I used to help a neighbour with her garden. She was too old to look after it.
That's interesting. What kinds of things did you do?
I cut the grass. I looked after the trees. Everything, really.
I see. The work is physically quite demanding and the hours are quite long. You're in good physical health, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I go swimming every morning, so I'm quite fit.
That's good. Why do you think you're the right person for this job?
As I said, I'm fit. I'm hard-working. I'm cooperative and flexible, so I'm good at working in a team.
I see. So when can you start work?
School finishes tomorrow, so I could start next week.
OK. Great.
Get ready for your exam 2. Listening. Exercise 7.
Hi, Dora. Haven't seen you for a while. How are you?
Oh, you know, a bit tired of all these exams. But they're almost over now, thank goodness.
And how did you do in your last exam? History, was it?
Yes. OK, I think. I'm not sure, but it didn't seem difficult at all. I hope it's OK. What about you? You don't do history. What was your last one?
Well, I've just sat my chemistry exam. It was really hard.
I bet. Chemistry just isn't for me. Although I quite like biology, I must admit. We've only got a week to go before the biology exam. How's the revision going?
All right, I think. I think the exam might be quite hard, though. My brother did it last year, and I remember him saying that it was tougher than he expected.
Oh, dear. I hope it's not the same this year. I need to get good marks so my dad will let me go travelling. I really want to travel this summer.
Me too. I'm off to America. Where are you planning to go?
Around Europe mainly, although I have cousins in the States that I'd like to visit too.
Great. And after that, do you know which university you're going to?
I'm going to Bristol to do English and drama.
Really? I didn't know that. When did you hear from them?
On Friday. Unless I really mess up my exams, of course. What about you? Do you know about Manchester yet?
I'm still waiting to hear. I need to do well in my biology exams first.
But that's no problem. You're brilliant at sciences.
Thanks. I hope so.
Unit 4, Lesson 4A. Exercise 2. A.
armpit, chin, eyebrow, eyelash, eyelid, fingernail, lip, neck, nostril, palm, scalp, throat, thumb, wrist,
B,
chest, hip, stomach, thigh, waist,
C,
ankle, calf, heel, shin, sole, toenail.
Lesson 4A, Exercise 5. 1.
Hi, are you okay?
Yes, but I can't stop now. I've got to watch Adam on TV.
Your friend Adam? With fair hair?
Yes, he's on Britain's Got Talent tonight.
You're joking. What's he doing on a talent show? What can he do?
He's dancing. He says it went really well. They recorded the show last night.
But Adam can't dance. I've seen him.
What do you mean?
He isn't on TV tonight. He was pulling your leg.
Really? Do you think so?
Yes.
Oh. He's always doing that. I really believed him this time.
2.
What's Dad doing in the garden? He's been out there for hours.
I think he's building something.
Building something? What?
I'm not sure, but I saw him carrying lots of wood from the car. It was really heavy. He kept dropping it.
Did you give him a hand?
I tried to, but he said he could manage on his own. He didn't want me around. I think it's all a big secret.
I'm going out to have a look.
Don't get too close. He's in a really bad mood.
3.
I'd better go. It's nearly 8 o'clock.
Why don't you stay for dinner?
Oh, that's very kind of you, but I think I'd better get home. I've got a few things I need to do and...
We're having roast dinner.
No, I really must. Oh, what kind of roast dinner? Chicken?
No, roast beef, with roast potatoes and Yorkshire pudding.
Oh, well, OK. You've twisted my arm. I'll stay then.
Great.
4.
Are you looking forward to the match?
Yes, I am. Who do you think is going to win?
Oh, I don't know. It'll be close. They're both really good teams.
I reckon Chelsea will win, but only by 1 goal.
Yeah? Maybe.
Oh, come on. Make a prediction.
Well, if you really want me to.
Yes, I do. I reckon it'll be 2-1 to Chelsea. What do you think?
Well, OK. I'll say 2-0 to Liverpool.
Really? Do you want to bet on that? I'll buy you dinner if you're right, OK?
Oh, yes. OK. I suppose so. I'll stick my neck out.
5.
So, anyway, I was in a cafe with Kirsty last weekend. You know that new cafe in town? Actually, we were sitting at a table outside, and a woman came over to us and said she worked for Face magazine.
Really? What did she want?
She asked if Kirsty was a model. When Kirsty said no, she asked her if she wanted to be in some photos. In the magazine.
Wow! Kirsty must have been totally amazed.
Actually, no, she wasn't. She didn't bat an eyelid.
What? She didn't even look excited for a minute. But she said yes, didn't she?
She took the woman's mobile number and said she'd think about it.
Wow, that's very cool.
Maybe that kind of thing happens to her all the time.
6.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, what's the matter with you?
My exams start tomorrow. I'm really worried about them.
Why are you worried? You've worked hard, haven't you?
I need 75% to get an A in biology, and I need an A to study medicine at university.
Isn't biology your best subject?
Yes, but what if I can't answer the questions? I'm terrible in exams. I panic.
You'll be fine. You need to keep your head. Read the questions slowly and give yourself time to think. And get some sleep tonight.
You're right. I know you're right. Thanks, Dad.
Lesson 4B. Exercise 3.
When did you start kayak surfing?
10 years ago. I went kayaking a few times with my family. Later, my brother took me to the beach and we went kayaking in the waves. I've been a fan since that day.
Most people haven't heard of kayak surfing. What is it?
It's like surfing, but you're in a kayak, not on a board. The sport has become a lot more popular in the past few years.
Have you had much success in the sport?
Yes, I've won several medals so far, including the Junior World Championship.
When did you win that?
In 2009.
Lesson 4C. Exercise 2.
A healthy appetite. In Britain, school children usually have lunch at school, and recently the government has encouraged schools to offer healthier food. At the start of the autumn term, John Lambert, the head teacher at Rawmarsh Comprehensive School in Yorkshire, introduced healthier school meals that he says help the children to concentrate better. He also reduced the lunch break from 1 hour to 30 minutes and banned children from going out to local takeaways during the break. But two mothers, Mrs. Critchlow and Mrs. Walker, believe that the new rules don't give pupils enough choice or enough time to enjoy their lunch. So 2 weeks ago, they started passing burgers, fish and chips and fizzy drinks over the school fence. Soon, they were delivering up to 60 food orders. Mr. Lambert has described the two mothers as unwise and said they were undermining the school and their children's education. He claims there have been improvements in behaviour and learning in the afternoons since the new healthy eating regime was introduced. After a meeting with Mr. Lambert, the two mothers have agreed to stop their deliveries while they try to resolve the problem. Speaking before their meeting, Mrs. Critchlow argued that the children have the right to choose their food. We are not against healthy eating. It's about the freedom of choice.
Lesson 4C. Exercises 4 and 5. Speaker 1.
I reckon it's a good idea, trying to get schools to serve healthier food. Some people say it won't make a difference because people don't like it when the government tells them what to do. But look at the smoking law. That really helped to reduce smoking and improve people's health. And there are other examples too. It can work.
Speaker 2.
Nobody likes the government telling them what to do or what to eat. And sometimes the advice is confusing. You know, it changes from year to year. People say it isn't the government's business to tell us what to eat. Our health is our own business. The thing is, the government has to pay when you get ill and need to go to hospital. And if more and more people need treatment because they're unhealthy, that means raising taxes. So I think the government should try to make people eat healthier food and save us all some money.
Speaker 3.
These politicians think they can control every area of our lives. How we drive, what we eat, where we smoke. I've had enough. If I want to eat chips every day and drive everywhere by car, then that's my decision. I can make up my own mind if I want to live a healthy life or not. I'm not stupid, and it's nobody else's business what I do? We've got too many laws already in this country. We don't need a new law telling us we have to eat salad twice a week, thank you very much.
Speaker 4.
I think it's a joke, frankly. A law about healthy eating. We don't elect politicians so that they can stop us doing what we want. We elect them to run the country. What are they going to do next? Ban fish and chip shops? Stop people from buying chocolate bars? Or pass a law that says fast food restaurants are illegal? They probably would if they could. Meanwhile, crime is going up, taxes are going up.
Speaker 5.
I don't understand why people are complaining about these new government regulations. I mean, they say things like, we've got the right to eat whatever we want. Well, sure, go ahead, make yourself fat and unhealthy. But what about your kids? You haven't got the right to make them fat and unhealthy too. What about their rights?
Lesson 4E. Exercise 2. Mind over matter?
Firewalking. Walking across burning coals or red-hot stones has a long tradition. It became popular in Europe and the USA in the 1970s, and many people went on training courses to learn the skill. They believed that firewalking was good for their mind and body, and might even give them mystical powers. Actually, the ability to walk over hot coals has more to do with physics than mind over matter. The heat doesn't pass quickly from the coals to the walker's feet, particularly if they keep moving. If you do it properly, there is little risk of injury. In 2002, 30 managers from the KFC fast food chain went on a team-building trip, which included firewalking. 20 of them had to go to hospital in order to get medical treatment for burnt soles. They used red-hot wood instead of coal.
Hypnosis. In the 1770s, a doctor called Franz Mesmer started to treat his patients in Paris with a strange new technique. He held their thumbs, pressed their stomachs, and then played music on an instrument made of glass. Mesmer didn't know it, but he was using a form of hypnosis. These days, hypnosis still has medical uses, but most people are familiar with it because of stage hypnotists. These performers ask for volunteers from the audience so that they can hypnotize them. In this state, the volunteers do all kinds of strange and funny things. They eat onions as if they were apples, or they act like animals or giant babies. The hypnotist seems to have control over their minds. Although the main purpose is entertainment, some people find the idea of mind control worrying. The British government even passed a law in 1952 in order to protect the public from irresponsible hypnotists. Most scientists believe stage hypnotism does not involve real mind control. The volunteers are extroverts who want to help the performer to put on a good show.
Telekinesis. In the 19th century, scientists became interested in the possibility that some people had the power to move a physical object without touching it. They named this power telekinesis, and over the years several people have claimed to have it. In 1980, American James Heydrich became famous overnight after appearing on a TV show. Millions watched him as he made the pages of a book turn without touching them. But James Randi, an American magician, was skeptical. He knows the different tricks people use when they pretend to have psychic powers. Randi appeared on a live TV show with Heydrich in order to test his claims. He put small pieces of polystyrene around a book and then challenged Heydrich to turn the pages using telekinesis without moving the polystyrene. Heydrich couldn't do it. Later, Heydrich publicly admitted that he had never had special powers. So how did the pages move? Simple. He blew them. But he had practiced blowing hard without moving his lips or chest.
End of CD1.